Palworld is like the most popular game in the world right now. Everybody loves it. Pokemon with guns, they say. I played a little bit the other night. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But it is also causing a lot of controversy because a lot of people believe that it employs AI art. Now, I believe that was actually debunks, that allegation. I believe Palworld doesn't actually use AI art. But regardless of that, there are a lot of allegations being made about it. Here we have an article from VideoGamesChronicle.com titled, Palworld Embroiled in AI and Pokemon Plagiarism Controversy. Steam's newest viral hit survival game, Palworld, has been accused of plagiarizing designs from Pokemon as social media users negatively highlight its creator's historical association with generative AI tools. Now, a generative AI tool would be like ChatGPT-4, which basically, when you put in a prompt for like, bring me an image of Danny DeVito as a werewolf, right? Which is a thing that people have actually made. Basically what it does is it takes a bunch of images from across the internet and then combines them, right? It takes, like, let's say you want here's the picture. This is like one of my favorite pictures of all time, by the way. This is just so good. But basically it just takes a bunch of source images and like combines them to make something. And so the problem that a lot of artists have with AI art is that these programs will collate a bunch of art from across the internet and then combine it, and they see that as plagiarism, right? They see that as like plagiarism, as unethical. And so a lot of people think that Palworld does that. Apparently Palworld doesn't actually do that. Then there's also this accusation about plagiarism because obviously it's like aping Pokemon designs. I feel like that's fine. I don't fucking care. Like, it's clearly a parody game. I don't care at all about that. I think Pokemon's gonna be just fine if this game succeeds for a little bit. But Asmongold is in hot water right now because he's been giving a lot of takes about this stuff. A lot of takes that I think are kind of true. We'll get into it more, but it kind of started with stuff like this. The success of Palworld proves that the only thing customers actually care about is a good game. AI, slavery, bestiality, copyright infringement, it's a video game. These are pretend problems that people don't actually care about. Make good game equals people buy game. Simple. And this is definitely true. This is definitely true. I think that a lot of people on Twitter will sort of virtue signal about certain things, but in reality, the average person doesn't actually care about most of these, small, trivial issues. Not that bestiality isn't an issue, but if it's in a video game like Palworld, like, is it really hurting anyone, right? I think it would be bad if it was in real life, or if somebody was masturbating to bestiality. I mean, that's fucked up. But in this case, I mean, this is just, it's a video game, right? Like, here we have this person saying, yeah, you can have sex with the pals too. Wake up, Nintendo. Here the players want. Imagine owning the IP for Vaporeon for over 20 years and still not making a dating simulator. Interesting take there. But a lot of people didn't like that take. And he ended up elaborating on this on stream a little bit later on, and people fucking hated this take. They absolutely hated this. All of the artists hated this.
To expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence is that
it doesn't matter. Nobody really cares about this.
The lead developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game.
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're going to be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what.
He's watching a Ludwig video there, just going over Palworld. We got Reactception here, me reacting to Asmongold, reacting to Ludwig, who is reacting to Palworld.
Is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter, because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool.
And a lot of people don't like this take because they get, sort of personally offended that, oh, he's shitting on artists. First of all, fuck artists. Secondly, not fuck artists. Okay, I like art, obviously. Just Twitter people are annoying. But what he's saying here is not even that he hates artists or hates, like, people who draw or 3D model or whatever. Literally all he's saying is, like, you may have that opinion, but ultimately it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because what matters is the consumer. And if the consumer is still willing to pay for something, regardless of if it uses AI art or not, then ultimately your opinion doesn't really matter. A good example of this was that the other day, Ruben Sim put out this video video. It was a pretty good video. It was about a court case regarding Roblox and a 12-year-old girl where she basically managed to get $10 million repaid to people because they took her in-game items. She ended up taking them to court. She won. And so Roblox had to establish a $10 million refund fund to pay back anybody who had their taken away from them. And this is a really good video. And one thing I noticed is that there were a lot of cool drawings in the video. Those drawings were made by ChatGPT-4. It's all AI artwork. All of these visuals, the school bus, these houses, this girl running, all of this stuff is AI art. It's not art drawn by a real artist. And ultimately, the art was pulled from a bunch of different sources probably and put into one thing, and it probably is, you know, heavily inspired by other people's art styles. I bet you could take this picture and find like 10 different images that it kind of drew from to build it as inspiration, right? And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people get very upset with that. And I saw on Twitter that Ruben was actually arguing with a lot of people over this. Basically, he was getting a bunch of people on Twitter giving him for it. And, you know, that's one thing. It's interesting that people didn't like that. But the video has 700,000 views. The video made thousands of dollars. And so ultimately, no matter how mad a Twitter artist may be, ultimately, if the average consumer doesn't care, then you're never going to be able to force someone like Ruben Sim or someone like Asmongold or Palworld to stop using AI art. Not that Palworld uses it, but if they did, I don't think the average person would care. I think they would be like, oh, game fun? I'm going to play the fun game. I don't think they would actually care about any of this. And all he's really saying here in this clip, which is entirely true, by the way, is that, like, listen, artists may have their opinions, and that's cool. But ultimately, how can you expect a multi-million-dollar company that's trying to cut costs and actually make money, how can you expect them to care when they're trying to run a business, you know? Art is expensive. It's undoubtedly way more expensive than using AI art. And however you feel about AI art and its plagiarism, like, unless AI art gets, like, outlawed or something, or somebody sues ChatGPT-4 for stealing art or something like that, or if somebody, you know, I guess sues the actual YouTubers in question who use AI art, right? Unless that happens, they're just going to keep using it forever. Like, the opinion does not matter. You need something actionable in this case. When somebody's running a business, they're less concerned with a few people on Twitter being mad. They're more concerned with the fact that, oh, Palworld is the most played game on Steam right now, right? And then he makes the point about, you know, the Marvel movie thing where obviously Martin Scorsese, one of the greatest directors of all time, you know, he did Goodfellas, he did The Departed, he did Casino, he's done a lot of great movies. He notoriously hates Marvel movies. He hates all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and his reason for it is he says it's not real cinema. Well, he can have that opinion, and like, I don't really like Marvel movies either for the most part, but it doesn't really matter because those movies are so successful and so popular that the average person is not going to give a shit what Martin Scorsese thinks. They just want to go to the movie and be like, oh, Rocket Raccoon, good, funny movie. I am Groot. Like, that's what they want. They want to hear I am Groot. They don't actually care about what Martin Scorsese thinks. And so this is not brain dead. Like, this is not a brain dead response. This is actually a very cogent response. This is a very, I'd almost say enlightened response where he's just saying, like, I mean, he's saying it in kind of a mean way, I guess. He's being kind of dismissive. But ultimately, these people can complain all they want, but companies are probably going to keep using AI art, you know? They're probably just going to keep using it. He doesn't realize his entire life is paved by artists. The headset he's wearing was designed by an artist. The chair he sits on was designed by an artist. The car, the house, the game he plays, everything was made by someone who drew it up or planned it to be created. Artists are literally the backbone of society. Without them, we cannot create even the most simplest of things. I mean, this is kind of true, but also the average person who isn't an artist doesn't really care. And so if AI art is cheaper for some of these things, they're probably just going to use that, you know? They probably are. He lost me when he said artists' opinions don't matter. Like, bro, AI literally samples their art. Without them, there is no AI. Well, I mean, they may matter to you, but in the grand scheme of things, the average person just doesn't care. And that's why I like that Asmongold is saying stuff like this, because I think he's right. Am I wrong about this? Looking at so many people angry with what I said is kind of shocking to me. When you go to a market with a product, the only thing that matters is the consumer's perception of that product's value. When did this become wrong? If you're strictly viewing this from a capitalistic viewpoint, you're not wrong, but I think many, including myself, would argue we have a moral obligation to look after the ones making said products. If we never care about the artist, the art stops, nobody wins. If many such as yourself only care about the moral obligation, why is it that the biggest companies are often the most immoral? I also think this is the result from a self-referential worldview that most people have rather than an outcome of capitalism. Dude, all the games you love to play, like World of Warcraft, were handcrafted by insanely talented people that often go about unnoticed by the wider world. You spat in their talent, hard work, and assume their irrelevance. Even though it's these artists who craft the worlds you and your viewers get lost in. Worlds that AI could not conjure up by itself. The funny thing is, what you said is somewhat ironic. The people buying the product often judge it based on how good it looks. Our opinions aren't irrelevant. Our opinion, experiences, and lives often influence the worlds you enjoy. You're absolutely right, but the value those things have exists because people like me say it does. One of the special things about almost all art is that it has no intrinsic value or function and instead is valued subjectively. This doesn't negate the opinions of those who made it. It's like saying the OTK network or your stream only has value because we, not you, enjoy it. You own OTK? Forget you, dude. Who cares what you think? Well, he's kind of, I mean, this is kind of true though. Like, if nobody was watching the stream, then it wouldn't really have a lot of value, right? Like, if nobody was watching Asmongold, he probably wouldn't even want to do it anymore, you know? Right, again, if no one watched my stream, it would have no value. Who would sponsor a streamer who has no views? How much would ads make? How would I get subscribers? Something's market value versus his personal value are two different things. I mean, I feel like people are just missing his point. Like, he's saying, like, I mean, like, it's good, not bad to care about artists, but, like, you know, in the society we live in, where the average consumer is not just consumed with an artist, like, they're just not gonna care. And this isn't just like a capitalism, this isn't a capitalism thing, this is like a human psychology thing. Like, when I buy a coffee, do I really want or care about the dissertation on who made the Starbucks logo, or who made the little writing on the side of my coffee cup? When I get in my car, do I really want a dissertation on who designed my car? You know, when you buy a Honda Civic, do you want a dissertation on the f***ing Chinaman who made it or whatever? No, probably not. Or sorry, I think they're Japanese. Do you want a dissertation on the Japanese man who made that car? No, you probably don't. You probably just want to get in the car and drive, right? Even though the car is a piece of art, because ultimately art is a product. It's a product to be enjoyed and has a function. You know, it means something to the people who made it. There can be an emotional thing there, but for a lot of people, the product is just something to enjoy. When I play Fortnite, I like Fortnite. Fortnite is art, right? It is. There's a lot of artists that work on that game that are probably mad talented. I'm not really thinking about that. I'm just thinking, like, is it a good game? If I found out tomorrow that Fortnite used AI art, I wouldn't stop playing it. I would probably keep playing it. Like, maybe I'd be a little irked, like, oh, that sucks. Then I'd be like, but it's still Fortnite, it's still a good product. And so all Asmon is saying here is that the average consumer does not give a shit about AI art, and I don't expect them to. You can't expect them to. So if you're an artist, I guess figure out how to protect yourself, because nobody's coming to save you anytime soon. And if companies can make money off of AI art and it's just as good as an artist, and artists end up being somewhat replaceable, then you can, you know, basically expect a lot of artists to be out of jobs, which sucks. Maybe someday YouTubers will be out of jobs, you know, maybe they'll make AI YouTubers who can report the news better than anyone ever could. You never know, it's possible. But also, I blew out your mom's back last night. Thanks for watching. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support.
No